Okay, 6:05, we shall begin. Welcome to our, oops, I said critical thinking. It's the Power of Mentorship by Hewlett-Packard. I will do a brief speaker introduction, tell you about upcoming events, and then we'll go to Oscar Martinez's presentation. And before the event ends, I will put in the chat a QR code and the link to an evaluation. Please make sure you fill that out so we can tell Oscar how he did and keep HP coming back and back and back because he's gonna do awesome. So my name is Ana Rodriguez. I am currently responsible for all the event content for the Research and Impact Office. That includes NELA, RLDCs, includes, well, all the things that you do except convention. I have a doctorate degree in organizational development and training from UMass Amherst, and I have been working at SHIP for 5 years. I was gifted a lifetime membership last year, and I love to cook and to plant my little garden. Oops. Please welcome Oscar Martinez. Oscar has more than 28 years of experience in HP. He started his career in Barcelona as an intern at the large format printing R&D quality department. After several engineering and program manager positions developing image quality, color workflows, color sensors, and media solutions. Hold on for a second. Let me admit this person here. Oscar became in 2010 the R&D Software Creative and PSP Solutions Project Manager. He relocated to Corvallis, Oregon in 2018, and he's currently the HP 3D Polymers Printing RD Agents and Test Factory Senior Manager. Oscar has 16 patents and has published 12 external papers. He holds several telecommunications, electronics, computer vision, engineering master's degrees, and a PhD proficiency degrees by different Spanish universities, an executive MBA major, and a McKinsey Management Accelerator. Oscar enjoys the outdoors life in Corvallis with his wife, Veronica, and their 7-year-old daughter, Daniela. We welcome you, Oscar, to this chat. Before I leave you with Oscar, please pay attention to the SHIP email that will come through in late July. We will have our next latinXfactor will be tips for effective networking presented by RTX. So now I will leave you with Oscar. Thank you, Oscar, for being here.
Thank you for the introduction. So I'm gonna start sharing. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Oscar.
Okay. So welcome. It's a great honor to be here. I would like to try in the next 45 minutes to convince you all how to use with the power of mentorship. You will see that having a good relationship with mentorship or other sort of similar support, we will talk more about that to foster growth, development, and connection. So some of the things that I would like to cover first, I would like to align with all of you what we're going to talk about and what we are not going to have time today that we can deal with it in another conversation. Is ChatGPT a good enough mentor at the end? Any AI tool where you can ask questions, why we don't use it just as a mentor? How do I prepare for a conversation with a mentor? And then as a rule of the game, please ask any question at any time, live or through the chat, and I will answer those questions. Because at the end, I want this to be more an open conversation based on my 28 years of experience. I have been mentor and coach for many people, and I have been also a mentee and a coachee with very interesting people that they have helped me to grow both personally and professionally. So as I said, what I would like this to be is an open conversation. So I expect from all of you to ask questions and start chatting with me about the profound impact that mentorship can have on both personal and professional growth. We'll delve into the reasons why mentorship is a crucial component of success and how it can accelerate your journey toward achieving your goals. What we are not going to have time today is a deep dive training about how to become a good mentor. There are plenty of books and other resources where they can help you if you want to become a mentor, how you can be a good mentor and how to deal with that relationship. Then now is when I'm gonna start asking you questions. So for this one, do you think that a tool like ChatGPT should be a good enough mentor? No, you have any question, you just go to ChatGPT, you ask the question, and ChatGPT is gonna answer it. So why don't we use ChatGPT as our single source to use as a mentor? Anybody? I would like to have a live conversation. If you don't want to speak aloud, you can write in the chat.
Remember, this is a safe space, and the more you can interact with Oscar Martinez when he comes to convention, he'll remember you. So
Exactly.
please, please feel free to either write it in the chat or unmute yourself to ask any questions.
I can say something.
Sure, Alejandro.
Okay, because I like to work with ChatGPT, I use it for almost everything, but I don't believe that it's good for mentoring, because mentoring requires some experience, some failures, and most of the thing I see in ChatGPT are more standard answers.
Okay. Thank you, Alejandro. Also here says Caleb. It is not because I does not know you beyond the question you are asking, like your goals, your personality, etc. Okay. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay. So here, what I would like to share here is more than a mentor. What I would like to talk about now is the concept that we all need a village. No, at the end, you need to be surrounded. You need to surround yourself with people that want to invest in you, in your growth, and also you will be part of a village of somebody else, no? And you will be part of somebody else's growth as well. And by a village, I mean like now here, what I am showing, there's a pointer, is a traditional village for a professional role, no? But you can apply this concept in your personal life. Very likely, if you start working or you are working, you have a manager, but you also need a buddy, you need a mentor, you need an advisor, you need a sponsor, and you need a coach. And don't pay attention too much about the role naming itself. Let me talk a little bit more than the role, the purpose of these different concepts. No? The manager gives you feedback about your performance, about what you're doing, help you to understand what is expected from you, and give you support. The body gives you guide. No? The body is a safe person that you can share things, you can vent. They have been in your position before. Sometimes if you start in a new job, you can ask what you may consider silly questions that maybe you don't dare to ask to a different person playing the role of being your manager. Advisor, it's a targeted advice, like somebody that is very deep, have a lot of knowledge on one single thing, and you know that you go to that person to ask about that. And if you are working as a double A of ME and you have a specific question about that tool, that software tool, or that design, you go to this person. The coach role is more objective and drive to take action. Here, a coach is more somebody that would try to help you find your own solution. No, maybe it doesn't give you advices. It doesn't give you guidance. It helps you to ask the right questions so you can take your own decisions. Mentor, that is the title of this presentation, share expertise. No? Mentors may share their own experiences, so you take them as a reference and even give you advices. No? Like, if I were you, I would do this. If I were you in this situation, I would do that. A sponsor is somebody with some connections within the organization. I can help you to create visibility about what are your next steps. No, if you have a good sponsor that trusts in you and believes in you, and he or she knows what you are looking after, based on those connections, it may you connect with the right person for the next move. So, answering the question the way I see it, is ChatGPT a good enough mentor? Well, it can replace somehow the advisor role. No, it may answer targeted questions that maybe before was not so easy to find the right answer or fast. But as you may see here, it will never replace the manager role, the buddy role, the coach role, the mentoring role, or the sponsor role, because it's not well connected. As somebody has said, it doesn't know you personally or what are your goals or what you would like to do next. So that's one of the concepts that I wanted to share with you guys today. It's not about one single person. It's about different roles. And sometimes it's true, the same person can play one or two or three different roles. But it's going to be very tough, very difficult for all of you that the same person can play all these roles. So at any job, any role that you have in the future, try to build your village. The stronger the village that you build, the better it's going to work for you. And here I also like to mention one experience that I had. I had an employee that once he was complaining in one training that we did about coaching or having a sponsor, and his complaint was like, well, if you are not well connected, you may be a very good employee, but you don't get the promotion that you believe that you deserve because you are not well connected. And he was like, that's not fair. No, all the organizations should promote based on talent and not based on how well connected you are. And then at that moment, the coach that was running that event, he asked him, do you have a partner? And he said, yes. And how did you meet her? And he said, well, she's the sister of one of my best friends. And he said, so then you had to have that connection. So his point was that as many things in life, connections are very important. And if you don't have them, you can be the best person in the world, the best talent, but others need to know it. And others, they need to know you. So yes, you need to be good at what you are doing, but others need to know it. And you need to have and spend time creating those connections. Okay, so these were the two concepts that I wanted to share with you with this slide. It's one, create your own village, different roles that can be done by the same person, by different persons. And the second concept is, in the same amount of time that you are spending in trying to do a very good job, you also need to spend time creating these connections because it's going to help you in the short and in the long term. And it's fair. I don't consider that it's not fair that at the end those connections help people. Any question or comment here? Have you seen before this village concept?
Please unmute yourselves or write in the chat.
Yes, please.
This is a very safe space, so whatever you feel comfortable with, please ask your questions.
Come on, we are supposed to be a Latino community. We are outspoken.
I have a question there.
Sure.
Or two questions. First, do you recommend to have that village inside the company you are working for, or could be everywhere? And the second, for you, like Latino being in US, how difficult is to connect, or in this case, create this village here? And you think it's good to have a very Latino village or a mix there?
So the first question is about this village, if it's within your corporation or so the answer for me is quite straightforward. You need to consider both. What do I mean? If you want to grow within your organization, you need to have a strong village within your own organization. But sometimes some of the support that you need is not within your organization. And eventually, if something happens in your organization and you have to spend all your time making this village or creating this village in your organization, then you are doomed, because then you don't have strong connections outside. And you never know when that can happen. No? So yes, we need to spend time creating villages not only within our organization but also externally, and that takes time. And as I said, I have been talking with people that they complain. No? They say, no, but I cannot spend so much time building villages. Well, but that's your choice. And in different moments in your life, you may decide to do it in one way or in another way. But we all need to realize that the stronger the village that you have, the better it's going to be in the future, not only professionally, but also personally. And also, it's very important if you are a part of a village. No? If you have a friend, people that they consider you to be their coach, their buddy, their mentor, because the more support, the more help you give now, in the future, if you need them, they are going to be there for you. And I have experienced that myself, and that's how life is. No? And if you help and you give support whenever you need it, very likely those people are going to be there to help you.
Oscar, we have another question here. Is it
Okay.
possible to have an advisor and a mentor in one person?
Yes. They can be. If the mentor is very is an expert in a field, he can be the advisor for that field. So the key difference between advisor and mentor is advisor is very deep in something, and a mentor is more broad. No, a mentor is usually more broad in experiences, not only deep in only one. And then your second question, Alejandro, was being a Latino. No, lately the last year, there have been a lot of conversations in many corporations about DEI, how diverse the corporation is, and some corporations have invested more in improve their diversity, and some corporations they don't care. My advice is, don't think about creating village just with people that you like, with people that can support you the most. Because it's very likely that if you ask me, you ask anybody, who would you like to interact the most? Of course, I would like to interact with people that are like me. No? Because that's what makes me more comfortable. But we all sometimes need to go out of our comfort zone. That's how we learn the most. If I only speak Spanish with my manager, my buddy, my mentor, my advisor, well, when I need to interact with somebody and I need to learn, or I need to explain, or I need to grow into a different role that everybody speaks English, I'm not gonna be performing at the same way. So if I am very funny when I talk Spanish, and when I talk English, I don't even know how to make a joke, that's not gonna help me. So we all like our comfort zones. We all like it. But we all need to learn that in order to even learn more, we need sometimes to go out of our comfort zone, because that's when we learn the most.
I have another question in the chat, Oscar. Can you give a more tangible example on how to find these connections at work and at school?
Yeah. So first, make a list of what you need. And each one of us have a different list of needs in different moments in life. No, when you are studying, maybe you are good at some classes and you are not good at some others. And maybe you need help with that. Maybe once you are about to finish, you are thinking about what is your next move. Should you continue with your master or with your PhD, or should you look for a job? So then you need to have this village to help you to get that answer. So make the list, and it's a list that you need to keep revisiting and updating it. And based on the list, you will create your village with gaps. And then you need to find that person. And my recommendation to you is pick that person or that person. Sometimes you can have more than one mentor, more than one coach. I would personally recommend to you to have more than one, because different people will give you different perspectives. And at the end, you need to take your own decision. If you only stick with one person, you may believe that's the right answer, that's the right way of doing things, and you all will learn with life that's not the case. And at the end, you need to build your own. And my recommendation is don't be shy. The worst thing that can happen to you is a no, but the no, you have it now. So if you identify the right person, just go after that person and ask for that support and offer something to that person. You will see in my next slide, that's part of the concept, no? To offer also something from you to that person there. Then my second comment there I wanted to add is sometimes people are shy, or they think that maybe that person is not going to have time to help. But think that very likely those people were in your situation before. And if they can help, they will help. That's my experience. I have been able to talk with CEOs that for sure their agendas are very, very busy, thinking that they won't spend any time with me. And suddenly you find that they are very open. If they have time, they would like to be with you, because they were there and they feel good by helping somebody else. So don't be shy. Okay.
Last question in the chat, Oscar. Where did you find your village?
Where did I find mine?
Uh-huh.
Well, I created different villages in different places. Another advice as a mentor that I would give you is you need to nurture your villages. Like, don't forget those that were part of your village. So you create a village at one moment in your life, you need to create another village, then you create another village. When you move from one to another one, keep in touch with the people that were part of your village before, because eventually you don't know when they are going to need you or when you are going to need them. But like, I had my village when I was in my hometown, south of Barcelona, for personal reasons. When I went to school, my first school, I had a village there. Then I changed of school. In the new school, I had to create my own village. And yes, you need to be very social. You need to be very open, and think since day one, creating your village, because you are going to need it. You're going to need that village very, very fast. Lourdes, I think you have a question.
Yeah. So you mentioned not to be shy. Right now, I'm a senior student in college, and I sign up for the President Summit because I'm trying to go out of my comfort zone. But like, I know there's gonna be a lot of possible advisor, coach, mentor, sponsors there. But like, how would you reach out to them? what would you say? How would you start a conversation with them?
Okay.
Because I know I'm gonna be scared, but I'll do it anyways.
Okay, so thank you for your question, and for the rest of the audience. This was not prepared, but this helped me to go to my next slide. So then, I am convinced. No, Lourdes says, I am convinced. I need to do it, but then what? No? Okay. So here, first, build a human touch. You need to build trust. When you approach to somebody, approach it from a human point of view. I mean, they shouldn't feel, or anybody that you approach, they shouldn't feel like you are going after them because you are looking for a benefit in the short term. First, try to build that human touch, building that relationship. As I said, some basics. Don't be shy and be very open and assertive. When you identify the person and you contact that person, be very assertive why you want to talk with him. Think not only what they can offer to you or why you need them, but what you can offer to them. And you may think, well, I don't have anything to offer to this person. Let me give you an example. After 28 years working for HP, I forget very fast how difficult were my first days. So anytime there is an employee that has been working for HP for less than 6 months, I like to be mentor, or I like to talk to them, and I think, can you explain me how have been your first 6 months? I want to know it, because as a hiring manager, I want to know those things. And if you don't tell me, I don't know. How was your onboarding process? How was the assigning of your mentor? So there are always things that you can explain or you can share, and whoever is gonna help you in something else, they can also learn from you. And you always can build that agenda that what do I have that can help this person? Or also come prepared with a clear agenda. One thing is don't be shy, but another thing is going without any preparation. Just you are looking for a job, and there is somebody from a corporation that you would like to work for, and you approach to this person and you go to him and say, "Hi, I would like to work for you," and the person is gonna look at you and is gonna ask why. Well, you need to be prepared for those questions. So, if you want to work for HP, search the web, search what HP is doing, what is the line of products, what is the organization that you would like to work for, what do you like about those products. I mean, be prepared so you show genuine interest in that corporation and in that person. I have experienced myself, people approaching to me and say, I would like to work for HP. And I ask for what division, which product. And he was like, well, I have a home printer. I said, okay, but what else? No, so after 15 seconds, I just lost interest in talking with that person. No, you get my point? It's like, it's completely different when somebody approaches to me and say, I would like to work for HP. You say, why? Well, I love your product and I have been working with this product and I love the way you design ASICs. I have been searching on the web how you do it, or I used to work for that division that use your product in doing this, in doing that, and I would like to be part of that. Besides of that, I love the DEI program that you have. I have friends that they have been interns, working in your site in Corvallis or in San Diego. It's completely different. At that moment, I am very interested in this person and knowing why he wants to work for us. Then, after that conversation, whatever that is, leave with a clear action plan from your side and from the other person's side. So you cannot leave the conversation saying, okay, thank you for the talk, bye-bye. Try to be as specific about the next steps. No, if that guy say, yes, sure, please share with me that, or please apply to this position through this link, do it. And then you can ask him, Once I apply, can I send you an email to you saying to you that I have applied? And he's gonna say, yes, sure. Can you please share me your email? And then he will share your email, and you can follow up with him. So always try to leave all the conversations with clear action plans and next steps. And
Oscar, we have a question before you
Sure.
continue, because I think, okay, you go to these situations, and a person before said that they were planning to go to the President Summit and they're going to be get to know more people there, but they're scared. So how do you, in a big environment, how do you keep yourself from getting overwhelmed so much so that you freeze and can't go forward?
Well, first is, I go back to one thing that I said. Create your own list. What do you want to accomplish? What are your needs at that moment? And stay focused. Because it's very easy in big events, as you and I was saying, that you get lost. Where do I go? Who do I speak with? And you don't have time to do everything. So spend time before going there. What do you want to accomplish? Who do you want to talk with? And stay focused. And then you apply, and don't be shy, and go after that. You can have a plan B or a plan C, but stay focused. It's very easy to get lost, talk with a lot of people, but then you are back home and you're like, okay, yes, I talk with a lot of people, but what are my next steps? So be very assertive about what you want to accomplish. It's like preparing for an exam. No, if you have an exam, you are gonna study and you're gonna practice. The same when you go to a trade show, to a conference, to this event. Go with a clear agenda and be prepared and spend time before deciding what you want to do. Does that help? Maybe.
Alejandro asked, so Alejandro, does that help? No, actually, Michelle Castro did. Michelle, does that help?
Says yes. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, good.
Then also, I have experience from people that they say, well, but if I start a partnership, a relationship with somebody, and we say, okay, let's meet once a month, and we will lead with these questions, and we will lead with you. They say, I feel obligated to keep going to that meeting, and eventually, maybe I just run out of questions. That's okay. That's perfect. That should happen. No, at the end, some support is needed just for that moment, and once that support is done, you don't need it anymore. Just be open with that person. As you, as a buddy, as a mentor, as a manager, as an advisor, you can decide that, or the other person. It's okay to stop it and say, look, thank you for your time. We have accomplished this. I appreciate that a lot. Let's stop these recurrent meetings and just keep them as ad hoc. And that's very important. Neither you or the other person should feel that you are wasting your time. We are all very busy, and we need to be open on when to start and when to finish. But at that moment, when you decide to finish these recurrent meetings, keep the communication channels open. Going back to one of the answers, that village is going to change eventually with time. But you should keep those channels open with those people. Don't forget about them. Send a text message once in a while. If they live in a different town and you are going to visit that town, go to share a coffee. I do that when I travel to a place where I used to work. I make a list of people that I want to meet. And for me, that's as important as my professional track. And I try to meet as many of those people as possible. They like it, and I also like it. They like that when I go back, I remember them, and I want to spend time with them. And I like because, well, you share very good experiences. If you don't do that, eventually, when you need that village back, maybe they are not going to be there. Okay. Okay. Any questions here? Let me then share 2 more concepts, and that's what I had prepared for today. And you can ask me more questions. Then, about how to start. No? As I said, I would recommend to you to have a clear agenda why you approach that person. If you start a recurrent conversation with a person, I would propose to you to step back and try to get personal as soon as possible. What do I mean? That person needs to know you, and you would like to know that person. The more personal it gets, the more he would like or she would like to help you. When Anna was sharing who I was, that's a way to share my professional life. What I would recommend to you is this is a career map. This is a tool that we use within HP. And when I start working for a team or I start leading a team, this is the way I share with them what is my career map. And I also add here some of my personal events. It's a way for that person to know where I'm coming from, what's my professional background, and also what I'm looking forward. And this helps that person to understand more about me. And it's very visual. And usually the person likes it and it stays in its brain, in the back of the head. If you do it in the way that I share my data with Anna, that's okay for a presentation, but it's difficult for the person to remember all that data. When it's visual, as you can see it here, it's easier to remember. The other advice that I would give you, this is just a template, and you can use any other ideas or any other questions. You can tell the person, and besides my professional life or my big life events, let me talk a little bit more about me. No? And one thing that we do within AHP, this is 8 questions, but you can change them. So people know you more in a personal way, no? And you establish that human touch, that personal connection. I am most proud of, I love to, where do you live, what is your favorite holiday destination? And here you can explain about destinations that you have been. And maybe if that person also likes those destinations, you can have created that connection that you didn't even know. One thing I would like to do before I die, I wish I could do whatever. I dislike people, and my strengths are, and you can name here what you believe your strengths are. And you can add more questions or you can change them. But the point here is that it's okay to share what is your professional career, but it's also very important to start with this personal connection, because you may find out that maybe one of your hobbies is also that person's hobby. And then suddenly that connection stays forever, and that can help you a lot. Okay, so this is the content I wanted to share today to open more the conversation. Please, more questions. I think it was you, Lourdes, that asked about that event that you were going to go. After what I said, do you have a clear idea on how you can prepare and how you are going to act during that event?
Yeah, I have a better idea. Think I'm gonna try to find more who is going before I go. So as
Exactly.
later I have the list with the ones I wanna talk the most. Like let's say for the companies, the one that can offer more for environmental engineers, that is my major. and just try to make a connection with them and maybe see them again in the national convention in October.
Yeah, exactly. Prepare yourself as an exam. Exactly. I see a question from Kelly. Why did you get so many cool degrees? Well, it's a very easy answer. First, I am from Spain. Degrees are very cheap there. They are free. So that's easier than in the US when you have to pay a lot of money. Second, when I started to work for HP, we were, well, at the HP site that we have in Barcelona is close to different universities. And one thing that I was trying to do always is be at the top of the technology. So then first I started to work on image processing. So then I said, okay, I want to keep in touch with the university to make sure that any image processing, the algorithms that we use are the best that are used in anywhere in the world. Then I changed roles within HP and I started to design spectrophotometers. Then I said, well, it's not about image processing now, it's more about optics. No? So then I said, okay, let me change my PhD and let's focus more on optics. So I want to make sure that the spectrophotometer that we are developing is using top of the edge technology. Then when I become a manager, it was a similar way of thinking is, okay, I have learned to be a leader within HP, but I want to know what are other leadership skills that are taught so I can use in my daily work. Those leadership skills that are proven to be the best. So this continuous learning mindset is part of my life, is part of who I am, and that gives me confidence that when I speak, when I teach, when in my daily work, that I am applying what is supposed to be the best that is taught anywhere in the world. And as I said, one is this mindset, and the second one, I have been in the US for 6 years. When the cost of learning is so low as is in Spain, it's a matter of time and interest. I understand here in the US, even if you have time, you are interested, if you have to pay a lot of money, many people cannot afford it. In other countries, it's not the same. What made you move to the US? So it's part of this continuous learning. When after several years working for HP in Barcelona, HP is, well, as you are very aware, is an international company, so it has opportunities to work in different parts of the world, and I had the interest to work in a different place to learn what would be the experience of, and this goes back to what Alejandro asked. It was very easy for me to keep working in HP Barcelona. No, I had friends. I started as an intern. Many of my colleagues at the office, they were interns when I was intern. So the other managers were also my friends. So it was very easy for me. It was my comfort zone. I knew that if I wanted to keep learning, I had to change. So that's when I decided to apply for positions outside of Spain. And at the end, the position that was offered to me was to move here to Core Valleys. I did that 6 years ago. And I can tell you that, yes, I was expecting to learn. I was not expecting to learn so much as I have learned. Sometimes it's like, be careful with what you ask for because maybe you get it. That's what I could say about my experience. So I learned more in my first year here than probably in the last 15 years before when I was working for HP in Barcelona. What made you go into computer science and artificial intelligence specifically? So this is, again, it's very easy answer. My first role within HP is, I think that all our printers our small format printers, our large format printers, at the end, we print a physical sample. We print pictures, we print whatever content. We need to analyze that content and make sure that we are printing with the quality that we want to print. Sometimes our printing systems with time evolve and they don't keep the same quality that we would like to print with. Or while we are developing new printing systems, we want to know how close we are getting to the print quality that we want to get. So at the moment, I was in charge of developing image processing to capture those samples, those printer samples. You put them inside a scanner, you scan those samples, and with artificial intelligence, you were trying to analyze the quality in the same way as if a human being was looking at the sample and was deciding what was the quality. So that's why I said I want to apply the state of the art, the best artificial intelligence algorithms that are variable. That's why I took those studies and well, I applied what I learned in the HP systems that I was developing at that moment. Okay, more questions. Any tips for undergraduate students studying electrical engineering and want to get into the consumer technology and hardware industry? Okay, tips. Based on my experience in the US, that in different countries is different. First one, get the highest GPA you can. Why? My experience as a hiring manager and with talking with other hiring managers in other corporations, we use the GPA as a filter. That doesn't mean that higher GPA students are better than other students, but we use the GPA as a filter. That is the first thing. Second, internships. Try as many internships outside of your school as possible. The internships are used by corporations as another filter. If you have a good experience in an internship, it's very likely that that corporation, if they have a gap, they are going to offer a position to you to fill in that gap. So internships in the US are very important to find jobs. Then, if you want to work in the consumer technology and hardware, apply for internships in those fields. I have been speaking with the students that they get internships in places because they are close to their house or they pay more. No, I had one person that approached to me and say, I want to take an internship in another place because they are paying more. Now I think that is a mistake. You should pick your internship for the long term. If you want to learn about consumer technology and how to develop consumer products as a double, apply to internships to those corporations. And even if you find an internship that is more convenient or pays you more, in the short term maybe it makes sense, but in the long term, that's not what you're looking after. Okay, more questions. As I said, I wanted this to be a more open conversation about the concepts that I share. Any experience being a mentor or a mentee? Okay, let me say one more thing about the village. When you are creating your village, I'm gonna go back. Another advice that I would give to you is be open about that you are creating this village if you don't find the right person. No, let's imagine that you identify a high level profile person. It can be your manager, or maybe it's not manager, but it's a person with very good connection within the organization. Could be like a sponsor, no? And you don't know how to get an advisor or a coach or a good mentor or another mentor. What I would recommend to you is ask for help to identify those people. In the same way that you, Lourdes, no, that I gave you this advice to go prepare to this event. Maybe you don't have visibility about who could be the right people to meet. Well, ask for help. You can go to your mentor at the school, or I don't know if you call it mentor or tutor, or somebody that has been there before, and ask for help. Say, I would like to identify people that can help me with this. Be open. I think that the more interest you show, the more likely things are going to happen. I go back to connections, to visibility. I remember one of my managers was explaining his personal experience, and he said that at one moment in his professional life, he wanted to become a manager. And then he went to his manager and said, in this company, what do you do to become a manager? And his manager answered, well, first I need to know. So his point was, if you don't tell me, or you tell people, they are not going to know that you want to become a manager. Once you express your interest, well, we identify your gaps. We may create a learning curricula. So when there is a gap and there's a possibility to have that role as a manager, you at the moment are ready to take that position. So be open and share what you need. One question here: what do you think about get the village from LinkedIn? Well, it's a possibility, but I go back to the statement here. Surround yourself with people that are truly interested in investing in your growth. So if you don't know those people personally, they may help you. But how are you gonna make them fully endorsing you in a personal way? No, it's more challenging, but it's a possibility. You may have a different village there. You may create a village in LinkedIn. Here, my advice would be, how many millions of friends do you have in Facebook? How many of those are truly your friends? No, here it is the same. Create strong villages, because it takes time. To keep a village alive, it takes time. So be careful in creating too many villages with people that maybe they are not gonna truly be there when you need them. Lourdes, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, so you mentioned that we need to be open. But what happens if we are open, maybe they are not gonna want to help us. Like right now, so I'm the president of the club and I have been in the convention before, so I know the opportunities that are there. So I'm trying to take more people than we usually have there. And our school is not that big, so we don't really have the funds. So I'm right now, I know I'm trying to get a sponsor to go to the convention. But like I cannot just send them because I was told to reach out to some of the professional chapters for the organization. But I don't know how to like write a email that they are gonna be like interested to help us and they are not gonna feel like, oh, they just want us to give them some money. And like right now that's like biggest my biggest I wouldn't say problem, but like I have been thinking like, okay, how can I redact this email so they, because we don't really have a lot of time either to register and everything.
Okay, so some points there. One is, I go back. Don't be shy. No? The worst thing that can happen is that they say no, but you have a no now. Then the second thing, this is not baseball. In baseball, if you have 3 strikes, you are out. Here, you can have 3 strikes, 5, 10, you are still there. So some people believe that if I have had 3 no's, this is done. No, it is not. And you can talk with many people that have very good careers, and they're going to explain you how many no's they have got. So the difference is, what do you do? And you why they say no. Learn from that. Why they didn't want to help, why they didn't consider you to be the right person at that moment, and learn from that. And from the learning, you come back stronger. So it's very important, and this goes for all of us. Anytime in your life that you don't get what you are expecting, you need to know why. You are not ready, you didn't do something right, you need to come back in a different way. Then about being open is why that person wants to be your mentor, why that person would like to be your sponsor. Yes, you need to articulate why. And if you are very interested, you should be able to write very concise why they should pick you. I have prepared all my life for this position. I have these degrees. These are my experiences. This is what I have done. I have tried to do this twice. I have prepared myself even better. I have been involved in these activities. You need to make that person understand that you are fully interested in talking to him in order to achieve something. It's very
Thank you,
difficult.
Oscar. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's very difficult for somebody to say no when they see you truly interested and that you have done something and you have prepared yourself a lot to be there. So you need to show that in that interest, that you have a high interest for something.
Well, thank you,
Oriana.
Oscar. I'm so sorry. We're a little bit over the time. An hour goes by very quickly. I thank you all for attending this wonderful latinXfactor webinar. Oscar and HP, thank you for your support and for being here presenting this important topic. I really appreciate you all and wish you all a good night. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.